My name is Evan Freiberger, and today we're going to be talking about the severe weather that is going to be coming down the line here. I mean, we've got, unfortunately, I know what you guys are thinking. Evan, we just went through severe weather after severe weather. I'm clicking on this video, hoping you can give us just a little bit of a light, a little bit of something to tell us that it's going to end soon. Well, unfortunately, I do not have that news to bring you, as we're going to have another severe weather marathon that's coming down the line here, and it's going to be pretty interesting. Some of the days are actually looking quite dangerous, so we're going to be breaking that down in this forecast for you guys. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot, and let's get right into it. All right, so now we're going to be looking at the outlooks here going over the next 4 days, and unfortunately, yeah, no good news. I mean, we're not supposed to have this many enhanced risks. It seems like Mother Nature's been throwing enhanced risk after enhanced risk after enhanced risk, and we've just been dodging and weaving, trying to, deal with this severe weather. But as you can see, we have another enhanced risk that's going to be for, over here near Nebraska and parts of Iowa. In this yellow area, that's a slight risk. It's a 2 out of 5 for severe weather. That's going to be around over here near, South Dakota, going all the way down into Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, even little parts over here near Kentucky and Tennessee, and then also over here in Maine, believe it or not. Out of all places, severe weather in Maine. But yeah, we got a marginal risk. It's in the green here. That's a 1 out of 5 for severe weather. So not too bad, but definitely something to pay attention to. And yeah, it's not going to just be today. Going into tomorrow, I got another slight risk over here for parts of the southeast, going up into the Ohio Valley, even into the Ozarks there as well. The next day, we got another enhanced risk out here. That's going to be for in the kind of the central to southern plains there, and even severe weather possibilities all the way into the southeast, going up into like the east coast here, kind of like the southeast east coast. And then also going into the day 4 here, you can see we have another enhanced risk already issued. So 4 days, more severe weather. I mean, we've already had enhanced risk after enhanced risk before this, and it's going to continue as we just have so much instability in the atmosphere. Really, any kind of small perturbation in terms of a cold pool or an outflow boundary is going to be enough to cause some significant severe weather. And as we get into Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be getting into some more large-scale, more dangerous features. So let's kind of break that down. All right, so first starting off with today, yeah, large little area here we got to keep an eye on. We got the future radar up that we're about to go through in just a moment, but I do want to break down some of the risks that we're going to be dealing with today. Tornado risk is not going to be overly high. We got a 5% in this brown area, sending into parts of Texas, going up into Oklahoma, also over here into Kansas, also Nebraska, Iowa, parts of Missouri there as well. And then we also have a large 2% around that, which essentially means that, like, hey, yeah, you might get a tornado warning or two, maybe a brief and weaker tornado could be possible, but the risks are quite low. Also, over here on the wind risk, that's where, we're getting a lot of these little other pockets of severe weather that's going to be popping out across the country. And we got a big risk down here in the Nebraska going into Iowa region. That's going to be for like a 30% in the red and a yellow within this dark little circle here. That is that area where we're going to be seeing significant winds. That's going to be 75 miles per hour and above are going to be possible in this region. So definitely make sure that you are, making sure that your dogs are indoors, your cars are indoors, as there could be flying debris. Power outages are going to be possible there. Outside of that region where we got this yellow and brown, that's a 15% chance in the yellow and a 5% chance in the brown. And as you can see, we got a large area here extending all the way from South Dakota, North Dakota, down into Texas, over there into parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, even a little tiny crevice here of Mississippi. Also, the little yellow region here where damaging winds of 60-mile-per-hour winds and above will be possible. They're near Lexington, Richmond, down into Nashville, Murfreesboro, Knoxville, and then also, believe it or not, all the way up here in Maine as well. We got a little area here where damaging winds are going to be possible. So, 15% chance of that means you'll probably get a severe thunderstorm somewhere within this area with those 60-mile-per-hour winds and above. But yeah, let's kind of break down the future radar here after we go over the hail. We do have a kind of large area here where significant hail will be possible. Pretty conditional out here as we're about to go over, but yeah, I mean, anywhere in between like Dallas, Oklahoma City, going up into Wichita, also going into parts of Nebraska, North and South Dakota as well, we have a chance for 2-inch hail and above. It's a low chance, but still very possible. In the area that's not in this hatched region, we have a yellow outside that yellow area outside of that. That's for quarter-sized hail and above. And then we got a 5% chance for that quarter-sized hail and above as well in and the brown that extends all the way into the Tennessee Valley, going up into the East Coast and up into the Northeast as well. So large area that needs to be paying attention today. Let's kind of break down the future radar here for the rest of the day. So let's go ahead and push this forward. You can see that we do have some showers and rains. Some of these storms could become severe today that are going to be pushing into Mississippi and Arkansas. Also, a couple little spots of some storms over here in the Texas area as well. And pushing this forward, you can see that those storms really start to increase in coverage as we get into about 4 p.m. Here in the Tennessee Valley, going up into parts of like central Tennessee, also central Kentucky, even some storms up there that may get some severity there as far north as Illinois. And then pushing that through at around 8 p.m., you can see that these storms are still ongoing over here near Arkansas, Louisiana. Some storms starting off there potentially in Oklahoma. It's not a guarantee that these get started, but if they do, these are probably going to be our highest tornado risk for the day there near like the Elk City, Woodward, Oklahoma City region. So just make sure you guys are weather aware. Also, some storms could fire as far south as Dallas there. And that's again at around 8 p.m. And then also at 8 p.m., we're seeing this line of storms start to form here. These are going to push off to the east, and that's going to bring that damaging wind risk throughout the nighttime hours up there. Continuing to push this forward, you can see that kind of sinks down to the south and east towards like the Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska area by like 2 a.m. So a lot of people are going to be asleep when this happens. You can't rule out a brief spin up along this line as well. And, you know, we're dealing with a whole lot of instability up in this area. So once that cold pool starts to surge down to the south and east, those damaging winds of 75 miles per hour and above are going to be possible as that pushes off to the east. But as we get into about 6 p.m., I mean, look at this thing. This thing's still going up here, still going. You know, over there north of Des Moines could still have some severe weather. Probably not as strong as that instability is starting to wane there. But yeah, 9 a.m. going into the next day, you can see we still have a little bit of a boundary here for storms, and that's going to be the initiation for the next day. So let's kind of look at that. So as you can see, we have a slight risk. This is going to be going into tomorrow here. You can see that that's really all the way from Dallas up into Chicago. You got parts of Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Missouri in that area. And that's going to be firing along this initiating boundary here. We got a tornado risk. It's not super elevated, but there's chances there. So, you know, I'd be weather aware, but I wouldn't really be weather aware for the tornado risk as of right now. But that can obviously change as we get into the future, as some of the models start to come together a little bit more. Going over to the wind risk, we got a 15% chance for 60 mile per hour winds and above. So, you know, not a super elevated chance for that, but definitely something that you need to be watching out for. You just don't want to be outside if you get one of those kind of severe thunderstorm warnings. You want to be away from those windows. So you do want to kind of plan to have, if you're having outdoor activities, to be ready to go inside if you need to. Also coming over to the hail risk, this is going to be our biggest risk for this day. And that's going to mainly be down here in Dallas, Tyler, Texas, Waco, Killeen, going up into parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and little tiny parts there of Louisiana as well. So let's go over the timing for this day now. Pushing this forward, you can see that got this line of storms really pushing in. Could have some severe weather all the way from Illinois down into Missouri. And that continues off to the east with those damaging wind potential. Maybe a brief tornado could be happening at around 5 p.m. as we push around into Arkansas, also over there into Indiana. Looking over down here near the Dallas and Oklahoma region, you can see we already have some storms starting to fire up by this time. So you do need to be paying attention. Also, down here in the Tennessee Valley, going all the way into Georgia and South Carolina, you can see we got some storms firing up there with some marginal severe potential there. So that's on the low end of severe potential. But yeah, by the time we get to 6 or 7, man, you can really see these storms down here behind this boundary really start to initiate here. And then that's where that large hail threat is going to exist with some damaging winds all the way into, like, you know, parts of Missouri and Texas. That's going to be around 7 p.m. And then on the northern portion here, we still got this line of potentially damaging winds, but it's really going to be starting to lose its intensity after this point, going into late night hours. But I mean, you can see really all the way from here, all the way around here, we got a little high pressure system that's going to be keeping this moisture and the forcing for these storms a little bit further up to the north. And we kind of got these storms that are going to be riding around on the outside of that boundary and pushing into Tennessee down into the southeast. So definitely keep an eye on these storms, as some of them could have some severity in terms of larger hail and very large hail, especially over here near like the Texas going into Arkansas region. And then pushing it into the late night, you can see we still got some storms ongoing, but most of the area is going to be under severe limits. But with the exception of Arkansas and Louisiana, could be dealing with some overnight storms there. So you definitely be weather aware as it go into the morning hours, into the next day, which will be Saturday. Yeah, now breaking down Saturday a little bit more. The details are going to be a little bit more sketchy on this day, to be honest, just given the fact that, it's kind of far out. These models aren't, that the lady in the basement with oracle ball telling you exactly, or crystal ball telling you exactly what you want to know. But they do give you kind of some guidance. So, and we only have one short range model, which means it's a little bit higher definition, gives us a little bit of a better picture. We have tons more that are just not in range of this day. So details are a little iffy right now, but there is enough confidence, though. The SPC has issued a 3 out of 5 here for parts of Texas, going up into Oklahoma, into Wichita there. And you can see they already have issued a hatched area, which essentially means significant severe weather is possible in this area from northern Texas going into Oklahoma and southern Kansas, with other areas expecting still some pretty decent severe weather, but not significant severe weather. And that extends all the way from parts of Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, down into the southeast and to the east coast there near Virginia, North and South Carolina, and Georgia. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Let's go see what this is looking like in terms of the timing, the kinematics, and all of that. So let's kind of push this forward. See, we got that line come through, and then that kind of goes around that little high pressure system there. And then we're just now getting kind of our first looks of Saturday. And as you can see, we have this little initiating boundary here. If we come over to the dew points at this time, you can see we have plenty of moisture. I mean, we're talking about dew points up into the 70s, mid 70s, extending all the way up into Texas, going into Oklahoma, parts of Kansas. That is plenty of moisture there. And then let's go see if that's going to translate into instability. And it is. Look at this. I mean, we're talking about 4,000, 5,000 joules per kilogram. Keep in mind the NAM has a tendency to overestimate on this, but still, it looks like there's going to be plenty of instability in the central plains here in order to cause some pretty significant severe weather. So definitely keep an eye on that. So the fuel is there, the wood logs are there, but what about the winds? Is the fire going to be spinning? Let's go check. So yeah, at the very beginning of this, and we are going to be expecting the shear to increase throughout the night, but we already have some decent shear in this area by around 7 p.m. there on Saturday. So definitely going to watch that as that picks up. Let's go look in the upper levels, and we got plenty of shear down up here a little bit further up into the atmosphere, and both of these things are going to combine together to create that spin. So it looks like we're going to have plenty of spin in the atmosphere. Let's look at where the cap is going to be. Not too much of capping, a little bit capping is there. A cap essentially keeps the storms from maturing and being severe, and without it, it's kind of like a fire without water being poured on it. It can just keep going as long as it's got fuel. And as we just went over with the Cape, we have plenty of that. So yeah, all the ingredients are there for Saturday to be quite the significant day. All right, as we've already gone over, we do have an enhanced risk here for Sunday. So now we're talking about Sunday, and as you can see, quite a few states are in this little enhanced risk here. That's going to be for like Nashville, Clarksville, parts of Tennessee, Kentucky, going up into Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, and Arkansas there. And yeah, this storm is going to be packing a punch as it comes through. So we're looking at the GFS now, and we're just going to kind of go into a little bit of the kinematics that are out there first. We'll check the instability. Looks like there's going to be plenty of that, 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram. You're typically looking for about 1,000, and we've got well over that. So a lot of instability for these storms to fire, be severe, and potentially be tornadic. Let's go over to the 850 millibars. You can already tell that environment is a lot stronger here on Sunday than it is on Saturday. I mean, look at that. Strong lower level winds there. Let's go over up to the upper atmosphere. Yeah, plenty of that there as well. So we definitely are going to have a lot of spin. Tornadoes will be possible this day, but keep in mind this is one model. Things will change as we get close. So don't get all anxious right now just yet, because things could change change in our favor eventually. Let's look at the supercell composite. Kind of tells us where the thunderstorms are going to be spinning the most. And yeah, you can see that that area is right there, kind of located in that enhanced risk as this thing can come through. So yeah, I mean, it's looking like a high caliber day here on the GFS in the southeast, going into the Ohio Valley. You guys are definitely going to want to be weather aware, but those details aren't. We don't have any of the finer details, so hopefully we can get a better handle on that over the next few days. But definitely a day to pay attention to if you live in these regions. All right, last thing we're going to be talking about is a little bit of a surprise here. It's May. We don't typically get these kind of outlooks in May, but sometimes it can happen. I will say the storm has a low chance to form, and it does seem, as of right now, if it does surprise us with forming anything, it's going to stay out to sea. But a little cool, a little interesting thing happening here, 10% there for formation of tropical development. Yeah, we're already starting to talk about some tropical development. We're getting, into the summer months. We're going to start to see this happening a little bit more often. And yeah, this thing's trying to spin up a little bit. It's had a couple too many beers, and it's starting to rotate and get a little dizzy here in the near the Sargasso Sea. This is in the Atlantic Ocean. You see Florida's over there, and this is going to be going to the north and east. So not a threat to the United States, but definitely interesting that we're already starting to get development in May. Yeah, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and again, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. If you hated this video and you just want to throw it in the trash, there's a dislike button there for a reason. But anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.